applicable for this position, right? Because if the
Yeah,
pawns were
that-
on different.
yeah, you are right. But what this one is showing? Yeah, this is not in this section. We are not looking at general rules. What we are saying is that there are end game tactics possible, which can make a lot of difference. So here we saw. That's all you are learning. Okay, and you have to be, your eyes have to be open for those kind of tactics, including sacrifices, right? So that's all we are saying. So because generally in the end game you don't tend to think like this, so that is why I think these are all examples to show that there are a lot of tactics in end game also, but a very different type of tactic. So if you want to see in the middle game, all those skewers and pins and forks and all of those windmills and discovered attacks, all the double attack, all of those are important in the middle game, and there is a way to learn them, and we are learning them. But in the end game also there are different types of tactics, and to learn them also you have to do different things. Okay, so there will be examples available, but you can't, the other middle game tactics are not applicable in the end game, but there are different end game tactics that you need to learn and master. Okay, so that is what we are saying here. Okay, all right, fine. Now let us go to the last position on the to study this week, and again I'll push this position on the board otherwise.
So white is trying to promote its pawn.
White is, yeah, but it's difficult. There are two rook end games are always difficult. So there is a rook on b6, b5, b4, on atm, c1. Okay, let me try to put this on the board. Board editor. Clear board. Rook on b6, king on b5, white pawn on b4, white rook on a4, white rook on h3, black rook on c1, and white king on b2, and it is white to play. Okay, yeah, this is the position.
Sir, white to play, white will just take, right?
Yeah, white to play. What will white do?
Okay.
If white
then the white rook
then black will also
is
take.
Okay.
You should play rook a5 check.
Yeah.
So that when the king takes the pawn, you can skewer.
You can't skewer.
You can't skewer because your own rook gets.
Oh yeah.
If you take this, then I take it. Then you take it. It's a draw.
Yeah, then it's a draw. Exactly.
What if you take the rook?
b5 check.
If you take the rook, then black will be also take the rook.
Okay.
So what is the aim here?
Aim here is white is trying to win. See, anyway, earlier also white had an extra pawn, so white is trying to win.
How about rook a3?
Yeah.
How do you play rook?
What is the idea of rook a3? Very interesting move.
To play rook a4 checkmate.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea. And you know that black is also has to defend his rook on c1, and white doesn't have to defend his rook on a5, because now you have defended the rook, created a mate threat, and there is a double threat now, right? So that was the key thing. Not I mean, you have to do something to find it, but what you are getting out of all your trouble and creating an impossible problem for black. You are defending your rook, sorry, not this way, but rook h2 a3. Your rook is defended, black has to defend his rook, at the same time you are threatening checkmate also. So what can black do?
So black can simply move his king to c4.
Black
give a
can
check.
move king to c4 and then white will kill the rook.
Yeah, now it's winning.
Right.
So that's it. After this, there is no chance for black. No clever defensive move, no discovered attack, nothing. There is a discovered check, but it is pretty useless because you have your rook which is just about to go down. And if you go anywhere else, the rook is going to give a checkmate on a4. See, these double rook endgames are one of the most complex endgames. Okay, and very common because they occur quite a lot.
Yeah, they're so common because the rooks don't get traded off that
Yeah,
much.
exactly. And then there are so many things. I'll tell you, I myself have a lot to learn in double rook endgames.
And I don't like double rook endgame.
Yeah, it is complex. Why we don't like is that because we are not able to analyze, we are not able to accurately analyze, and we make a lot of mistakes. We are not able to see it. That is why we don't like it. But there is a whole lot of thing to learn in the double rook endgames. And the only way is like look at a lot of examples and study a lot. That is the only way. Okay, so this is just an introduction, nothing much. Double rook endgames is like it will take 1 year to study them itself. So, okay, so now let us go back. I think we are done with our positions for analysis. Matlab, the study part, theory part, we are done. Okay, so you can do the problems, you can do it as part of your homework. I hope all of you are doing.
Problems should be done by now.
How many should be done? Let us just calculate. I think, see, there were 87 problems in the first section, and in the second section, there are, practice part, 197 in the first section and 76 in the second section. Out of that 76, 14 and 8, 32 are going to be done before. So as of now, you should have done 76 minus 32 is 54. 54 plus 197. That means 251 you should have done by now. And then next week 265 and then 18. So 283 by the week after next. How many have you done, Madhura?
Sir, about 175.
175. Huh? Okay, I think you must have left some more problems in this section here where how to solve chess problems. These 9.
Yeah, I did like 14.
Yeah, that is where I think.
I have to do. Can you go to the 3 stages of a chess game? No, the 3 stages of a chess game
Oh, 3
section.
stages of chess game. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, I have to do what to do after the opening and about endgames.
Okay, but have you done this 91 problems here? How to?
Yeah, I finished 91 problems.
Oh, that is great. That is cool. Very good. Okay, fine. What we will do is we will go to our 2 positions for analysis, I think. Yeah, this is our position for analysis. White to move.
Sir, isn't queen c8 mate?
No, because you move the rook back with check.
Oh,
Exactly, it's with check. So.
Very tempting, right? Queen c8 is the most tempting move, but unfortunately it loses immediately because there is a discovered check and then you lose your queen.
if you play king a1, then rook down. Oh, that's not mate.
Yeah.
So I think you should play
King A1, then the rook
king
can't.
a1.
King h1.
King a1, then you get back ranked.
No,
No, but the queen guards.
Yeah, the queen is preventing white square.
Okay, then the rook goes back, right? You're back to square. Is it like a win for white or
No, we are not telling any such thing. We are just telling you to, this is a position, what is your best move?
Sir, I should move the king because
Yeah,
it's
king a1.
take.
H1. Why
yeah,
are you
but then
saying A1? King H1.
Yeah, h1.
Yeah. King H1. Yeah, you are right. King H1 is the only move here. Okay. Queen C8 looks very tempting but doesn't work, and there is no other move works because there is a discovered check at threat is there from black. So there is nothing else possible. The discovered check is threat is too strong because the rook can move anywhere, kill something, attack the queen and all, and it is so. So you have no option other than moving king to H1 right now, and then hopefully you will play H3 and then get the what do you call? Then get the king to H2, and then you will think about how to think. But still, black is better in this position, but probably no,
how is
not
black better in this position?
not black. Black is not better, but it's a tense struggle. Okay, it's tense struggle. Why it is black is there because black has a supported pawn on D4, that is his things, and white's pawn on. But queen being
You
there,
can
white's pawn on C2 is also strong, so not such as such. So it's
after king a1, then you could try queen c8 and then take the pawn after black plays h3.
yeah, but black will also do
h6.
something. Right? Black will also not this one. Black will also
No, black is gonna play h6, and then you can play queen c8 and take the pawn.
not necessarily. Not necessarily. Black can. Black can. Yeah, black has got other options to play also. But okay. I think the key point is that I think queen c8 doesn't work. That is the thing you have to be able to. Let's go to the next one. White to move.
Knight takes h7 check.
Knight takes h7 check. Rook will take, right?
Queen.
Sorry.
Queen g8 checkmate. Yeah.
Queen. How is queen g8 checkmate? With what support? King will simply capture the queen on g8.
No, sir. He
There are
means
two
the
knights,
knight
sir.
on
You are
G
saying
takes on h7.
knight.
B5, knight on B. No.
Knight on g7 takes the pawn.
Knight on g5 takes the pawn, you're saying.
Yeah.
Knight on g5. Okay, rook takes h7. Queen g8, there is the
Wait,
other
then-
knight.
no. Yeah, exactly. There's a knight there. Exactly. How does
Black's
that?
knight is also supporting the g8 square, right?
Yeah.
You don't have a mate.
Exactly, that doesn't.
Well, f8 square, right?
What about knight
Knight D7 check.
knight d7? Yeah.
Knight to d7. White's knight goes to d7, huh?
But then king.
Yeah.
Then the king just hides. I don't see anything.
King will have to come to d8, I think.
Huh.
So how can it go to D8?
Sorry, e8 I meant. e8.
No, sir said E8.
King e8.
But after king goes to
Okay.
e8, then white
No,
can't-
wait. Yeah, it can go to because the knight would have moved. Knight to d7, then king to e8.
Or even
Queen,
g7.
queen f7.
First move, second move, third move. When?
Queen f7 first move,
Yeah, queen f7. Brilliant move.
and then knight e6 checkmate.
Yep. It's a 4-knight checkmate, it is called as. So you require 2 knights of yours and you require 2 knights of your opponent to checkmate the king. So queen to f7, no option other than knight has to take on f7. And then the knight on g5 jumps to e6 and it is a beautiful checkmate.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Yeah. No option other than that. Black doesn't have any other possible moves at all. It's a forced checkmate in 3 half moves. Queen f7, knight f7, knight e6. Black doesn't get any time to sacrifice his bishop and create some complications on f2, etc. No such things. Okay. All right. So I think that is it for this week. So let us meet next week. I think what I'm next week we are going to probably complete this section. Some more tips or tactics on the end game. So that will also be our week 11, right? So we are almost at the 3-month boundary. Not fully, but 2.5 months over, more than 2.5 months over. So we will probably week 12, we will conduct our first serious tournament with prizes. Okay. So that is not next weekend, but weekend after that. So not the June 20th weekend, but the June 27th weekend, I think we will conduct our Swiss tournament. Okay. And what we will do is we will increase the time limit. So I think all of these classes of L4 would have stressed upon you that you have to think a lot more deeper and then look at more options in middle game, in end game, everywhere. So we are going to be doing this tournament with, instead of 10 plus 5, we will do it 15 plus 5. So you will have 15 minutes for each starting plus 5 seconds extra. So a lot of time will be there, and each game will last probably 40 minutes or so. So 4 games, consider 40 into 4, 3 hours it will be. Okay. So you have to set aside 3 hours for the tournament.
Sir, could we do 15 plus 10?
Sorry?
Could we do 15 plus 10?
15 plus 10, I don't mind.
That's a bit too long.
But I think it will be too
That's
long.
gonna take forever.
Yeah, I mean, let us 15 plus 5. Let us do it. Okay, and then
Do I skip the L3 class?
So when exactly is this? On Sunday?
it will be on.
Wait, no.
It will be on
The
Sunday.
L3 classes.
It will be on. See, on the 27th or whatever that is there, right? On that Sunday, instead of the class, we will have it. On Sunday, we will have.
Oh, okay.
We will not have the class, regular class on that.
So it will be between like 7 and 10.
Yeah, something like that, or 7:30 to 10:30, something like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay. 7.
You said L4 is like a 1-year course, but you're conducting the Swiss tournament at 3 months.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
like
wanted
3
to
or
conduct
4
it after 4 months. Okay, but because we are coming to a logical conclusion of the 2 sections of study, so we might want to do it now, and the next one we might do it after 4 or 5 months. I don't know. So
Okay.
there are 3
Could we have
tournaments
like
during the
4
L4 course.
serious
This is the first
tournaments?
one.
Like,
All right.
could we have like a Swiss, like a serious one, like every 3 months instead of 4?
Yeah.
Sir, how many games in that tournament?
4, I think 4.
4 games.
Oh.
Okay.
So instead of having these Swiss tournaments at an interval of 4 months, could we have at like an interval of 3? Like, so the next one would be 3 months after.
Yeah, I guess maybe we'll conduct at least 3. Maybe we'll conduct 4. I don't mind. I think we'll see. Maybe 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months is okay. I think every quarter once.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So that is that. Let me stop the record.